Yeah, yeah. I'll just play the track. All right, this is my Summit remix. We're gonna start off with that first. Then we'll get to the Dimmock release, and then we'll get to the Q&A. So you guys can ask me whatever you want. Yeah. Of course, Jaden. Not bad. Going, man. Excited for the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. Sick. Yeah. So, I appreciate all the really nice comments on it throughout me playing it. I released this back in January of this year, and it did a lot. I remember waking up we put it out, and it the next day. Well, I woke up to like 50,000 plays on the SoundCloud, and it was just very humbling. It was like one of my first like mid tempo songs that I was like very proud of. And so I'm really excited to go through it with all you guys. So yeah, I guess we could start out kind of going through it. Does anybody want to see anything particular before I just kind of go through everything? I'm gonna start with the drums, and then kind of work my like way of how I build these songs. But if anybody like has any questions about this, that like the specific questions, then I can answer them as well. So to start, I usually like start with my drums always. In my songs. So in this case, I wanted to kind of match the timbre of the original drums in the original song. So I picked some samples that had the same body to them. So yeah, like this kick I use this kick in like every song for a while. It just has like a nice body to it. And to be honest, like a lot of people, when I do like these lessons and these like streams, a lot of people ask like how you get your drums so like tight and mixed well. A lot of it's just sample selection. I work on a very interesting way of like if something's not like if I have to like alter the sound too much with like EQ compression or whatever to get to like the starting sound that I want, it's just not the right sample to start with. So I've really gotten good at like knowing that and like knowing when like the kick isn't right, instead of like trying to make it right, like go find a better sample and then or just even make your own stuff. Like I've been recently been making my own kicks. But yeah, so in mid-tempo is usually like 80 BPM to about it's a Levianth. I don't even know how to say it. But yeah, mid-tempo is usually like 80 to like 110 BPM. And for a while I was very like I was mostly making all my mid-tempo at like 110, 105 in that area. And when I came across this song, Summit's one of my favorite Skrillex songs of all time. Every time I like hear the original, it makes me want to cry. Like it's super emotional. But I just had to like take it and like rework it in the 2019 way. But yeah, so what was I trying to say there? Oh my god. The drums are very important because in mid-tempo it's usually like you want that offbeat, so it's like you get the heads moving, And so when I had it at 160, the halftime of that's 80, so I'm right in there, and I can do whatever I want in that mid-tempo category. So this is the drum section. Pretty simple. My biggest thing I love about mid-tempo is I think Justice was like the first people to do it. Justice, Daft Punk. They do like the pre-shifted snare, so it's like it kind of like comes in. It's like a nice transient on it, so it's like like I love that kind of stuff, and it makes it hit harder, which is very important, I think. Reminds me of Nine Inch Nails. Sick. Yeah, I think like just keeping the drum section super simple, and leaving room for the basses, the leads, the sub, like that's a big thing. We'll get to that right after this. So just sample selection is very key. Layering samples, EQing out. So when you're layering, like I usually layer like 2 or 3 snares. If I'm not making my own, I usually just like, layer other people's snares and then notch out certain frequencies and able to layer those super well. So like in this case, I found 2 that were at the same, and then I just went in and Decapitator is amazing. It's made by Sound Toys. It's on the snare bus here. Decapitator's amazing. It's like a distortion and like compressor and everything mixed together. So I can show you what I don't know if it will come on the stream, but see if it. Okay, so that's what it is without Decapitator, right? When you throw Decapitator, or that's when Decapitator is on. When you don't have it on, it's something else. It's more like wide and like bass heavy, and I know when I heard those, I knew it was going to compete with the kick. So what I did is I threw Decapitator on. Yeah, let me solo those layers real quick. So this is one, just a very quick snare clap. This is another one. This is the big one. It's like a reverb snare. So there's a big impact in it. And then we have this one as well. And it's more like, this is more like the transient one that I wanted because it has that kind of like punchy transient. And then that's the snare bus. So when you put all those together without any effects on or anything, they have a lot of body to them, which is nice. When I put Decapitator on it, I use this High Crispy Mix preset. It's just one of the presets. It's very good. Like, dude, Decapitator is nuts. Yeah, I mean, I hear it in Accent's music, 100%. Yeah, it's really nice. I usually don't use the wet all the way up. Some people do. I mean, for drums, I think it's really nice when it's just mixed in. So right here, I just have the mix knob at 50%. But it just adds a little bit of crisp on the high end. Brings out some high end stuff. And then I put a Sheps on here. Sheps 73 is one of my favorite like EQ, like mastering EQ modules from Waves. And I just literally I drive it a little bit with the preamp, so I'm preamping the drive a little bit, and then with the highs I'm bringing them up a little bit just so I can even get a little bit more sizzle out of the high end. So like without it, like they're very dull here, and then when you put this on, because you're getting the distortion from it and you're also getting the high end out of it. So yeah, that's pretty much all the drums. I just have this loop, this perk loop, just to kind of have that rhythm in there. And everything together, oh, I also have a crash down here. I didn't even show you. It's just a regular crash. It's just on the kick and the snare. So all together, just makes your head want to move. That's the goal. You gotta make your head move. Like, dude, a lot of the time I'm like, when I'm like working on music, a lot of the time, like, I'll get up out of my chair, and if I'm not like headbanging or like walking, like I pace when I'm trying to figure out an idea, so I'll get up out of my chair and kind of walk around the room. And if I'm not headbanging or my
make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer in every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
My head's not moving, there's something wrong. I have to change that. Yeah, so the next thing after the drums is what I do is I do the low end. So on this specific one, it's a sub. I use the hip hop sub in Ableton almost religiously, and I add a bit warmer on here, so I'll show you. Unfreeze this. Okay, so this is a sub. Probably won't come through. It's very low. But I have this preset where it's just the hip hop sub. I call it the Noah bass, the Noah sub, because this is the preset I came up with. But then I throw a bit warmer on it just to take some harsh frequencies from the mid range and bring them up, kind of giving it some warmth, a bit warmer from the saturator. So you just type in Ableton, you just type in a bit warmer, and it's in the saturator thing. The Ableton plugins are very, very useful. I used to be like only third-party plugins, and now most of my stuff is except like Sound Toys and a couple Waves things. Most times it is just like overdrive, saturation or saturator, erosion. All the Ableton effects are really nice, and I think they add like a cool sound. Because a lot of people overthink like trying to make the sound different or whatever, but the Ableton stuff like is really good. I have a really good time with it. So then I just make sure that it's working. So by itself, I put on this Kickstart. This is their Nicky Romero's Kickstart. When I was doing house like a year and a half ago, I mainly was doing house on the Atlast project, and I think it was May of 2018, did my first mid-tempo song, and the rest is history. But I used Kickstart religiously in house music, and I still use it on the low tempo stuff and in 160. I don't know. I like the curves in it. I could use Volume Shaper. I own Volume Shaper. It just makes my time easier, and I'm a very quick worker, so I tend to like get things that gets it done quick, so I don't have to go in and put ghost notes in or whatever. This is an easy one. I already had preformed waves in it. So I make sure that those work together. So now that the sub works together, then I figure out the basses. And I always usually make the basses, the pattern in the sub, just so I make sure that everything's working before I even start sound designing. So now the fun part, the basses. So we'll get to the glitches here in a sec. Let's see, here's the basses. So I'm going to open up each one of these so you can see what's up here. Yeah, so this is the first bass. This is I have 3 basses that I stack on top of each other to make this massive, just gross thing. So I'll take off this. It's just this preset that I found called Grim, and the reason I liked it so much is it has a lot of body to it. I think that's very important with sound design, especially mid-tempo stuff and dubstep and anything in general. There's a lot of dubstep I hear out there which is very thin and doesn't have a lot of color to it. And I think having the meaty dubstep and mid-tempo and that saw wave that's just really distorted but has that body to it and that doesn't lose that body, I think it's very important off the start. Again, I think having a better body in the preset and then adding distortion and things later. I think starting with the more body presets the way to go. This is just a preset that I found. I think this is literally just in one of the bass packs in Serum. Like when you get Serum, it comes with some presets. And I think I was running one. And then I put Camel Crusher. For a while, I was using only Camel Crusher in all my projects because that just adds a very nice calm, or not calm, but like warm and controlled sound. See, this takes it another level. So it just adds another level to it. The EQ is literally there just for a spectrograph, so I can just see what's going on in sound, make sure no frequencies are overlapping. So that's bass 1. Let's get to bass 2 here. Unfreeze. Okay, so this is bass 2. Obviously, this one's a lot more heavy, and it doesn't have as much body as the other one does because I layered it differently. So this is by itself. It's Inspire. It's just one of the presets in the frickin' synth. I like doing sound design, but there's a certain thing to not overthinking it and just using a preset and kind of tweaking the preset in a way and to make it sound better. In this case, if I can remember right, I just had to turn the notes down, so it's it was a really distorted kind of it was almost like it's called bass voltage, so it's almost like they were trying to go for what would it sound like if a power line dropped and it was just sparking everywhere. And I just turned it up so I could get this nice body to it. And then again, Camel Crusher, the ultra fat preset. Another thing I should notice or note is that I'm doing a lot of MIDI control with pitch. So you can hear it in this one where it goes. Right here it goes down. So those two together have a very unique sound with them. Now the whole frequency band right there is all filled out. And the third one. What I do in the third one is just filling out the low body. So this has a nice Reese sound to it in the bottom, which is really nice. So by itself, it's like a Reese. And when I put the ultra fat Camel Crusher preset on it, So that's the bass group. That's pretty much what that is like. It's as fat as you can get it. Camel Crusher is there. Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, exactly. I think it's very important to layer. For a while, I was getting very hung up on, okay, how are these other producers that making the music that I wanted to make? Like, how are they getting so like big pads or big saws or big basses? And the biggest thing was I was trying to always make one sound that sounded like that, and like it's possible with a whole bunch of processing, but it made me easier. Like I thought of it in different categories. So like the top one, it's like that's the body. So you think of that from like 300 hertz to like 4,000 hertz, and you just cut off that like that, and that's pretty much what I wanted that one to be. The second one is like the high end and the low end like distortion unit together, so that adds that high end, and then the bottom one is the low end, so all together it's having this really nice frequency spectrum of all bass sounds. It's very important to layer. Yeah. All right, so cool. So that's the basses. Oh, I forgot one. This one as well. This one's just like literally a sine wave that's distorted with Camel Crusher as well. And then when I all together, I take out at 50 hertz. A lot of people, when I was learning to make music, a lot of people said like cut your low end at like 90 hertz. I usually do it at 50 because I like the rumble that a lot of basses have from like 55 hertz to like 75 hertz. It has like this nice just low mid range that I can like later in post in the group, like with here I can like distort. So without it, it's just very very muddy. You see it's redlining over here, but when you take down the EQ, it's still redlining, but the thing is, you take this big hop out right here, which is very, very important. And then the EQ, do the same thing I was doing earlier with the Sheps. I use it on everything technically. I just drive it a little bit, and then I up the highs about 4 dB. Nice like crisp high end on it. So all the basses together are like. Okay, so another thing I should talk about is the glitches. I love making glitches and making some weird things, and like putting them in songs because it just adds like this difference. Because the song's so, it's so digital. The glitches are also digital, but for some reason it like takes it out of the space for a sec. And I love doing that, like having drops in different spaces, so like different sounds in different spaces. So it's almost sounding like you're going from one room to another. And like one maze from another, and it's really cool. So this one's just like this varying glitch. I'll like solo the glitches, so it's like, so the varying glitch is just like this Reese that's been distorted as all shit. And then this is a Kashmir glitch. Also, these guys are the original songs, so this is from the original song. So if I went out like. So it's the and I just made a rhythm out of it. So with a drum on top of it, and another drum. Another Kashmir glitch. Kashmir glitch 09, and then this one is a glitch that I made with my buddy Sin, which I'll talk about in the next song. And I just pretty much screw around with it. I'll show you guys a cool trick that I've learned over time. So with like these glitches and weird sounds, you can do some really cool stuff. So if you unwarp it, right, you warp it back. Okay, cool. So the cool thing about this is like, say you want to make a variation of that glitch. Basically what you have to do is you go down here into the warp section of the song, and you can change, you go down to texture, you can change the grain size. I'm sure other people in the workshops have probably talked about this. I love doing it for glitches and also resampling basses. It's a very fun thing to do. can get some really cool ideas out there. Like if you're being down a lot, or like up, and I'm just literally taking down the grain size every once in a while. It's a cool thing. You can make some really cool sounds. So that's what I was doing. Just kind of like screwing around with these. Okay, I also need to talk about this bass on the second time around. So it's a higher bass. It's just that first bass that I showed you, just a couple octaves up. Same patch and everything. Just adding like a high on it, and then this is a Jerezzo synth that I just distorted, and we'll talk about those like. So the drop in full. So I love doing I feel like a lot of people have talked about it. If you watch a lot of tutorials on YouTube about it, a lot of tutorials show the whole bringing a reverb and kind of throwing your reverb, a reverb throw. I'm a big fan of that, but I love doing it with a rate on it. So in this case, what I did is I took a reverb, right? So it's like all dry. And, it's all dry. You can kind of hear it leave the space. What I did on top of that is I put a tremolator on it. Tremolator is another thing from Sound Toys. This guy. And I put a sign on it, a 16th note rhythm, and basically what I did is revved it. So when the reverb's revving out, it's like spinning it, which is really cool. So it's like adds like a nice fluff to it. So far, this is what we have. So I'm gonna freeze these back really quick just to make sure we don't lose any audio dropouts. That's what we got so far. Anybody have any questions about certain things that I missed or that they want to kind of revisit? Let me know. If not, then I'll kind of move on to the vocals and kind of what I did from the original song. So this part, I literally just put the original song in. That's literally how I did the build with these risers. Some spices. Together, like. These different risers, more like organic risers. This is like a jet taking off. Yeah, let me show this. Okay, so this is how I kind of glue the whole bases together. One thing I did miss. So Frontier is this limiter. It's made by D16. They also make Decimort, which is a really nice bit crusher. And it has a really unique sound to it. So without this on the bus, it's nice. Like, it works. I just wanted something that just distorted it even more, because the more you distort, the better it sounds. I mean, right? So yeah, I just like brought those frequencies out, and then I cut the whole group at 60, because after adding the Frontier, when I said earlier how I cut it at 50, after I added the Frontier, it brought a lot of frequencies in there that were competing with the drums and the sub, and so I had to lower it down to 60. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Like, on and off. Yes, this is a freebie. This is a free plugin. It's amazing. All the D16 stuff is like next level. Like I like the meters. This is a very nice, well done plugin, and it sounds amazing. Yeah. So basically, next, when I add the drums on. So on the vocal group, basically what I did here is I added reverb on this vocal, so it's like, and I just cut it. Like I didn't get the stems for this song, so I literally just cut it. Yeah, Frontier. It's by D16. It's a really nice plugin limiter. Yeah, it's just really nice. So that's just the vocal, and that's just going in the background, and then we have this one as well. If I take off the sidechain, it's literally just a cut from the original song. I usually cut all my vocals as well, like 120, just to make sure there's no low end competing with the sub, drums, etc. So that's on top of there. So after Frontier, you EQing your main bass bus down to 60 hertz, so they aren't competing. Yeah, exactly. So basically, like, I can go back to it really quick. What I have is my chain. Technically, it's all screwed up. Like, I guess the signal flow is not technically correct or whatever. But I have the limiter first, which is just even crunching it more. Then I have my sidechain, and then this is literally after everything. This is literally just the 60 hertz, because when I throw the reverb through, I don't want to have the low end being thrown as well. I just want the high as well. If that makes any sense. And then the second part of the drop, this is where things start getting fun. So the second part is just the same exact basses from the first drop, and I threw a tremolator on here, this guy, and it's at 8th notes, and it's ramped down, so it's like a hard cut, so it's a tick 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 rather than like a sine where it's like, to add some rhythm to it the second time around. It's really the same thing now. Like nothing's changed. Sub falling notes round, and then it goes out. Most of my songs have big breakdowns, but this song was literally, this remix was literally just the original. And then just random effects, just random risers, effects, just to add a lot of space. This guy's just like the ocean coming in. It's just like that's just looping in the background just to add organic sounds to a digital world. I think that's very important, adding organic sounds to a digital world. Like taking like a lot of my songs have rain in them as a texture in the background. A lot of them have like cities, atmospheres, like different things to like, because the songs that we listen to nowadays are so digital that I think like it's good to kind of bring that human element back into it. And so my FX groups are just full of stuff. The same, they're just sidechain as well. The second drop is where things start getting fun. So same build, same everything. Oh, I forgot the saws. So I added these saws in that were following the main thing. So if you guys remember in the original song, it goes the famous Skrillex chops. what I did is I decided to follow him with saws. So it's like. And so basically what this is, stereo enhanced master. This is an Ableton. It's just like a way to add more stereo to a group. And it's just like adds, it's for a master, but I usually add it to my like groups. And then decapitator is just doing a mid driver. Just add some mids back because these are very thin. So I wanted to add the mids back to kind of drive them a little bit. These are just these virtual self leads from Digital Felicity. And then just different octaves. So that's following. That's the build. And then the second drop is where things get fun. So in this drop, I wanted it to be very epic and melodic, but also have that bass grit in it. So what I did is I added chords. So it's like the chords group. Here we go. So same bass things, but then these chords. So I'm gonna go through these really quick for you guys. These chords are just another, again, I think Jackson said it earlier, layering is so important. I think a lot of people look down on people that like they always say that like, oh, you don't have to layer to make a good song, but I think there's two different spots for it. I think layering sounds can lead to really cool results in like really big and epic rooms. That's how I look at things. I look at things in different rooms. So like dubstep is supposed to be in a certain room. Melodic dub is supposed to be in a certain room. Melodic mid-tempo is supposed to be in a certain room. Like, it's supposed to be in all these different rooms. So Silent, I love that you're using Silent for this bassy stuff because it's, I don't know, it just has like a nice warm sound to its chords. Okay, so this is just a Zon Griffin wide saw. And what I did is there was a lot of low end and mid range information that I didn't really want, so I EQ'd it really weirdly right here, just so I get that nice high end. Then I mixed it with this one. Another one, and it's more by itself. It's more midi and mid distorted. And then this guy here, it's just white noise. It's literally just white noise. And I follow it just kind of give it more high end and more information to higher fans. And this guy's art. So it's like, it's an art. And I just follow the chords. And that's pretty much it for those guys. Let me make sure that these freeze back down real quick. And then I'll show you what the basses I have underneath them, because the chords are so important, but the mid basses, the basses that you use that are following and supporting the chords are so important, because that's what gives them the dirt and the like body to it, and that's what gives you this bass face that I have right now. This bass face, yeah, like you see this at all the festivals when people do this. That's what happens when you put the body in the bass. Yeah, so. Simple EQing on here, on the group for the chords, just cutting out at 90 Hz for the chords because I'm gonna have a lot of basses in there. Reverb for the throws that I had earlier, I cut it out again after the reverb because I had a couple of things in that section that I didn't want. Auto filters for the build, where I'm just filtering in some chords. Decapitator, I have it on thick, mild crunch, adds some crunch to it, and then stereo master, and then sidechain. And that's how I get those. And now the part that makes everything worth it. The basses. That makes the bass face come out of here. Right here. Right here. The bass face. Let's learn how to do that. So this is a sub, same sub I had before. And then this guy is a saw bass. It's very wide. It's 12 voices and 14 voices on the second oscillator. And that adds with the sub. That adds a nice wide bass to support the saws, because the saws are so wide and they need that support. And then this final bass is this guy. It's a very dark bass. So I'll kind of show you how I made this. So this is originally. It's not that much different. But I add some warmth to it with the Camel Crusher. Yeah, I feel like grew. Yeah, it grew from Despicable Me. Yeah. You want the bass bass. And I added a vocoder to add some like transient phaser stuff going on. It adds some high end because if you put it all the way. That's some nice high end to it, to kind of bring those in. And when we put it all together, that's pretty much it, guys, for this song. I mean, it's a lot of fun to make. The whole thing, I think, with this kind of stuff is making sure that your whole frequency band is filled up. A lot of time I have, this is my master chain, by the way, as well. It's this like crazy chain that I've had. But so Endless Smile is amazing. It's great for build-ups. It like pretty much takes everything out, and it's made for like big room and like house music and progressive house. But on its soft settings, it's really nice for bass music. It adds like a nice curve when you're building, so it's like, it's pretty funny to watch. The non-move, the guy gets happier and happier over time. Let's try it again. So that's fun. And then the bass house master chain is pretty crazy. So that's what I used when I was doing all my house stuff. What about the lead that's traveling with the chords? Oh yeah, I got that. I can do that too. Yeah. So the master chain's pre-tech. I'm just boosting a little bit of the highs at 8K, and I'm not attenuating anything. I'm just literally boosting that a little bit to kind of get those high mids up. This is the G bus, which is insane mastering compressor, and I'm just pushing the makeup a little bit just to get that like warm analog kind of push out of it. EQ, I'm bumping the highs, compressing the whole thing so everything's sitting tight, nice and tight together. This is the SSL E channel from Waves, compressing some frequencies, pushing some dynamics. The Q6 stereo is just a stereo equalizer. So I mean most equalizers are stereo, but this one I want because I like bringing things out, but not. It's almost like a dynamic EQ. So I like bringing things out, but not losing them entirely. So it kind of fluctuates over time. And I also have this guy, another pre-tech that's boosting 16K at 4 dB, and then just a little bit of attenuation. And attenuation is like, say you boost a frequency, but it gets louder when you boost that frequency, so attenuates just bringing that volume down. And then a sausage fattener as my limiter. And that's it. There you go. You got my master chain now. So let's hear all those loud songs now. The piano, just to finish off. The piano is the lead here, so it's the grand piano preset in Ableton. And what I did is without all these. Just a regular piano. I add the transient back. This is the transient shaper. It's made by Shack Audio. Really, really nice. Just like making hit a little harder, the transient wise. I'm adding the Hall of Vintage verb on here. So it's a lot epic and more big and kind of like the Porter kind of piano. Adding gain to it with utility, it's 5, making it louder. EQ3, yeah, so EQ3 is just literally cutting out all the low end out. All the low end, like, that's it. Echo Boy, it's just adding a little bit of flair around, more stereo image. And then again, after that, I'm cutting it again because there's a little bit of stereo information in there and low end I didn't want. So all together, yeah. That's it. Pretty simple. Like, if I'm being totally honest, like, this is probably one of my more simpler remixes. But simplicity is key, too. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overstack things. It's very, very easy to. And I think a lot of people, like, they think that with stacking sounds, it's going to make it sound better if they just overstack. It can. I'm not going to say it's not going to make it sound better. But it can also make it sound worse. And also, I go back to the very first thing I said of sample selection is key. Like, instead of freaking out and like EQing and compressing and distorting a sound that if you don't like that sound or whatever, don't freak out about it and just go and find a better sample. There's always gonna be a better sample out there, or just make your own sample. Like, go take your iPhone, go next to your bedroom door and smack it, and then low past that, you got a kick. Like, it's so much fun to do the real life stuff like that. So that's my Summit remix. Appreciate you guys all kind of being here for that. We got some more time here, so we're gonna do my Dimmock release as well. My collab with Sin, my boy Sin. He's been killing it. Super stoked on his journey. It's been really cool to see him grow as well as me grow, and like it's cool. I think every generation of producers have like their squad, you know. I think like it's cool that I have my squad. Like, I consider my squad the guys that I talk to every day, producer wise, Blank, Lick, Sin, Hades, Swarm. Like, they're all amazing people, and that's the coolest part, is like kind of growing with other people that are doing the same thing but doing their own take on it. It's a very cool and like freeing thing because you can send stuff and they have a totally different thing that you never thought of. So find a group of people that are at your similar size. If you're just starting, find some people maybe in this group that want to do this kind of work on the same stuff and grow together. Growing together is so much better than growing by yourself. I will say that in every capacity. It's better because you can share each other's music. You can use each other's platforms to share each other's music. It's a very good thing to grow with people, especially people that you believe in and they believe in you. If anybody has any questions, definitely fire them off. Skylar, thanks for sharing that, man. It filled in some blanks for me. This track smashes live, by the way. Hey, I appreciate it. Have you heard it live? I've only known a couple of people who have played it out, so if you've heard it live, hell yeah, and I'm glad that that whoever played it out, or if you've been to one of my shows, then I've definitely played it out. So moving on. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, guys. Exactly, 100%. You're right on the dot right there. All right, so we're gonna start with Outerwood. I'm gonna play it through it really quick, and then we can go through it and figure it out. Oh, sick. Hell yeah, Skylar. Appreciate it, man. Nathan, what's up, man? How you doing? Ace, I'll answer your question after this. Yeah, that's the song. So yeah, let me answer some questions. So Ace, this is a perfect song to show you kind of what you asked me. You asked how do you layer things without things sounding too busy, not just with EQing, but with ideas. I mean, it's always a mixture, man. I think it's very important to, even in the idea stage, like figuring out things, like you still want to like go in and EQ things to make sure that they fit together. But to show you, because I can show you now, this song is pretty crazy. There's a lot going on, but we did it in a way that we were able to separate things really well and kind of move things together. So I'll show you. It's a lot of audio-based stuff. I'll show you where we started, at least. Okay, so... So this is basically like... this crazy bass that we made, and again, when I was showing the beats things earlier, so what you do is you go in here, texture, and this is an artifact that we got from it, and then we added this sticky around here. I'll go into this guy real quick. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, like that's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to try to get through all of it quickly. And Ace, I'll answer your question throughout this little section. Isaiah Garcia, what's some advice you would give to the producers who are still relatively new to music production? Everything's screwing with sound design and layering, but things still sound muddy for me, and the basses tend to clash with the more melodic and harmonic elements. Any advice? Thanks in advance. Of course, yeah. I'll 100% go through that with you. So far we got these two growls. Okay, so let's turn off everything so you can hear exactly what is going on here. Okay, so it's mostly EQing. So adding OTT. Just compressing it with multiband. Making sure that the input is balanced at 0. I always put a utility on there just to make sure it's at 0. EQing, adding some sound back in there, so adding like a frequency back in at wherever this is, 56.9 hertz. This is where it gets that like crazy sound. So it's just filter and trash with Trash 2 from Isotope. And then I added an OTT, another one. So it brings back those frequencies that were lost. Then we desaturated it. It comes out even more. And then we EQ'd it. So adding some high end, bringing some low end out, adding some high mids. Utility. We were gonna run it a little bit, like do a phase like shift on it. Then we have this Tassion synth processor. It really doesn't do that much. It just adds a lot of high end to it. It can do a lot of stuff. Saturator, adding more saturation back. OTT again, and then sidechain, adding more EQ, and then the auto filter to filter things in. That's just for that one sound. So that's that. Then what we get to is we get to the actual bass. Obviously, you guys want to figure out what that is. So I'm gonna go through it. again, it's a lot of stuff. It's pretty much the same build as kind of what I was using with the other bass. OTT, 2 trashes, different things. So with this filter, we're just pushing the high mids a little bit, and then we're putting an old school mic impulse on it. Convolve is my favorite thing in the world. So basically what Convolve is you can put it in a room, and it's an impulse response. So if you guys know what an impulse, if you don't know what an impulse response is basically like anybody that lives in an apartment building has a garage or has their car in the garage. When you notice, when you slam the car door shut, it goes poof, and it like has like a very big impact in the space. The cool thing about that is you can grab that and you can use that for an impulse response for anything. So they
make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer in every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
They in Trash they have this convolve feature where they have all these different impulses. So it's like inside a fishbowl. What does it sound like inside a fishbowl? You wouldn't know, but they have that because they stuck a mic inside and figured out the impulse response of it. So I put that on top of it as well, on top of the filter, and that it gives it like a nice thing. OTT, saturator, EQ, same thing as before, and then same thing down the road. Except here, we have this guy on here. It's just to widen up, add more OTT, more OTT. You can never have enough OTTs. Every bass producer said that once. So yeah, I'm gonna say that too. Then we added this guy, which funny enough is the same exact bass that I used in the Summit remix, bass 1. So those together are these two guys, and we just bounced them out because they were taking up too much CPU. And I used the first bass that from this song I was before. So that's that first section right there. So we're gonna go back to Ace's question. So Ace, did you notice how I was kind of layering things in the Summit remix where one has too much body and the other one doesn't? So it's like this one has no body. Or sorry, this one has all the body to it. This one's more wide and more distorted. So when you put these together, they added a very nice like group bond together. And then when you compress in the group itself, which I'll show in a sec, they really stick together. Yeah, the IR is super important. Yeah, of course, Nathan. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm glad I could help out in some capacity with that. So this part was fun for me. So when he sent me the idea to work on this song, it was pretty much just like that. It was like the bah, quah, quah, and we had it at 150. So technically that's dubstep rhythm. So what we wanted to do is kind of have throw an old kind of nostalgic dubstep sound in there, which is lasers. Everybody loves lasers. So what we did is we originally had this. So and that's literally the same sound as the bass 1 here. Then I threw a laser on top of it. So on to those together. Same exact thing from the front, this side. Same thing, and it just keeps repeating. Just making a lot. So in dubstep, another thing I should kind of speak on is call and response is so important in music. I think in general. For the past 16 years, I've been a drummer. I did some studying at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and throughout high school and lessons, and I gave lessons. And the always thing I loved talking about with drums and learning more about was call and response. It's so important. So in this case, call and response is so basically you call something, so you have a bass line that's a call of something, and then another bass responds to it. Like it's like a conversation between two basses. So in this one, it's like this first part is the call, and the second with the laser part is the response. So it's like call, and response. It sounds like a fight, like two robots are fighting. That's the coolest part about it. It's like, wow, hey, that's how I explain it. Two robots fighting, call and response. That's the bass section. Same exact sub from before, the Noah sub, because you gotta do it. So if I take out everything else, I take out the basses and just went over them. It's really not that much going on. So what I did here is I took the vocals from the break. This is just a sample from Splice. So this is the main vocal. And then we added a choir. And then this lower one. And then swells. And then this drum loop to build up. And then bits. There's like drum fills. The drum section is so simple. Like this is the first song that I remember I was like, it's like, should we do more or should we just like kind of leave it? We both decided on just leaving it super empty and letting the basses talk. So what it is just kick and snare on the 1 and 4, on the 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? This synth, or this white noise synth, is on the 4 at the time. Did you do an entire look on the robot, or do you just bring it down a bit with the shelf? Okay, I'll share that too. White noise on the 4 with the snare, so it's like, and then the stadium clap in the background to kind of add this ambience to it. So all the drums together. That's it. So simple. Like sample selection is so key again. So if we add back in the basses and answer your question for you. This is the bass group. Pretty simple. That's just a limiter, or the LFO tool we didn't end up using. We ended up using just the Live 8 sidechain. Then Kickstart was on there for like kind of pulses, so like we could like pulse it really quickly. We cut high passed pretty much the lows, so at 90, because we wanted the sub and the drums to hit at in that frequency range really hard. We took out some mids out like 742 hertz, and then just check out these little bits here and here, these little dives, because they were really harsh frequencies, and we could have put like a dynamic EQ on it, but we just wanted it throughout. So, and then Ozone on here as well is just the Ozone dynamic EQ, and that's just on the highs. So we put it at the very end, we put a dynamic EQ just to have it kind of pulsating in the background, making sure that there's no high-end frequencies that are harsh, like are mixing with the song that's gonna screw it up. Yeah, full cut. It really depends from song to song, man. I think a full cut at 90 is what I learned originally. I've kind of strayed away. Like this project now is a year, and I hadn't opened it yet. Like when I opened it yesterday to get it ready, I hadn't opened it since August of 2018. So it's literally like over a year, over a year and a half old, almost a year and a half old, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, so basically, so you're using Kickstart, and also, yeah, so the side chains I'll turn off this guy, so it's just like this. So what we decided to do was have a little bit of threshold back. So just here and here. So we had a kick here, kick compressor. So it's, you know, compressing the kick, or side chaining, compressing the kick, and then a snare as well as doing the snare. We wanted it to kind of have this like throw to it, where it's like it's not perfect, but it had like this rhythm to it just by itself. And then when we added kickstart on top of it, it added the more harsh cut. Like, right? So it's like here, it's like without it. The same thing, we just did more down. Same glitches and everything. And then here's where we changed up. So we added the chord ring mod thing. And it's just the fifth above, so it's 7 semitones up. And basically, I'll show you what this is. This is a sample that I found on Splice. I find so much stuff on Splice. It's just an Angry Saws sample, and I cut everything at 450 hertz to make sure there's no low end or no low mids at all. Because it's on top of everything, so it's like. So yeah, the breaks, it's just the exact same bass from the drop, but we just low passed it at the very end, and then put a reset on it below. It's just the Titan reach from Cymatics Titans sample pack, or their serum pack. Same thing with the melody on top, same build and everything. The second drop's where it gets fun. I always love doing like melodic second drops in my bass music because I love the melodic stuff. I grew up on like Seven Lions, and learning that stuff is very fun. Since we had the original basses in, I didn't do those low basses I did in the other song, in the other remix. I just made the highs. So we'll go through here really quick. This is the ring mod. And I just followed the chords really nicely. So the first chord is this guy. It's the same thing as the other one. Actually, no, this is a different. I'll open these up. These are different. So, Serum, literally just a patch. It's super distorted. You can hear it. I'll show you how to kind of clean that up a little bit. And I whited them. I did 150% of width to them with the utility. And then here on the second one, this is like a very big chord. Just the hypos and the saws, not much going on. Hyperdimension, compression, and reverb, EQ, just making sure frequencies aren't overlapping. Then this guy as well, same as that Summit remix with this just pure white noise, and then this guy as well. This is where all the low comes from, the low mids. So it's the same patch as above, but what we did is we put it down an octave, like full down an octave, and then distorted it, saturated it, and then brought the width down so it's like not competing with that higher one that was up. And when you put all those together, let me just refreeze these so the CPU doesn't freak out. Like again, we were talking about layering earlier. It's very important just to like kind of know, watch a lot of videos on layering saws and stuff, because there's a lot of like really cool techniques on like I usually cut all mid-range basses or mid-range saws. I'll cut them all at like 350 and bring them down like 2 dB just with like the EQ8, just to bring that because that makes room for the basses and the mid basses to kind of come out a little more. And here's on the chord group. So I'll turn everything off so you kind of hear what's going on. So A bit warmer. The saturation. Add that saturation back. Saturation is so key. Annihilate it with the camera pressure. Annihilate preset. Taking all the lows out because at 150 this time it's a lot of harsh frequencies, even past 90. And then same thing compression, same thing with the compression again, and then after that cutting everything at 200. That's the outro, man. That's pretty much how it went. It's the vocal and those recent right here. Yeah, so that's pretty much that song. Now it's just kind of time to if you guys have any questions about this song in specific that you want to go into, or any questions in general. This is I think this is a good time to kind of get into the Q&A portion of if nobody else has any other questions about this, then we can get into Q&A. So I'm going to answer some questions that I missed on here and that you guys have asked. So Steven, what was your biggest aha moment in production? So I have two things. So creatively, my biggest thing was as an artist, I can do whatever I want. Like if I want to make house one day, and I'm a dubstep producer. If I want to make house, it's not a bad thing to make house. There's no like bad reason to make house. Like it only means that you can do more and you can like express yourself more as an artist. That was something I was holding myself so tightly. I was doing house and I was like, well, I can't do dubstep because then the house people won't like it. But Jaws said it a while ago. He's like if you're coming to my show, you're coming to my show to experience new music that I'm liking. It's not necessarily not necessarily going to be like all Jaws house music. It's going to be stuff that he loves, and I think that's super cool. Kind of exploring that, because back in the day, like if you're a rock band, you couldn't put out ambient music. Nowadays, you can do whatever the fuck you want, which is the coolest part. I'll show the master of this track right after this question, then I answer. Okay, Isaiah, I need to go back to you. What's some advice you give? Yeah, so. For that are new to music production, just watch as many tutorials as possible. The cool thing about this, that this group and the society is like it's super cool. Like there's so many videos. I was even going through some of the videos and learning some new things on the site. It's so important to watch videos but not overdo it. Like you can only watch so many sound design videos. I think like for me, I get bored with that stuff. I like watching kind of like how to put things in different rooms, like I was talking earlier, like with trash, like putting thing in a different room, like so it sounds like it's in a different place at different times throughout the song. So the song sounds like it's like a journey through different wormholes and universes. I think just like watching a lot of tutorials. Pensado's place is so important if you want to get into mixing and learning kind of how to balance, like you said, like that are still sounding muddy and stuff. I think it's very important to think about that stuff in like yeah, you might not need it right now, like you might not need to know that right now since you're just learning how to make music, but when that time comes that you do need it, you'll already have that in there and you'll click and you go, oh, I understand what that means now, like I get that. So that's super important. Yeah, just like watching as many videos as you can, asking friends, hit up me anytime. I love like doing feedback for anybody that wants to. I have a promo email. It's promos4atlast@gmail.com. Promos4atlast@gmail.com. It's a really good place that if you want to send any music, I always get back to everybody there. Sometimes it might take a little longer than others, but I always get back to you guys and give you guys what I think I hear. But again, that's just what I hear. Like, don't take it so seriously, like he doesn't like it or whatever. That's just what I hear and like what I think can be improved on. And that's like I think the coolest part about it. Yeah. All right, let's go down here. I'm gonna show the master of the track right now. That's the master of the track. There it is. One thing. Full parallel drum bus compressor. Insane glue compressor preset. On the master. That's it. Done and done. Cool. So yeah, Steven, that was like my biggest aha moment creatively, was just like not giving a fuck. Nathan, what is the secret to managing instruments that reside in the same frequency range as each other, but still wanting to keep the character? Not sure if that makes sense. I've heard sidechaining them to each other helps them to stand out when the other isn't producing a signal. Thoughts? I haven't really sidechained sounds to sounds before, other than like drums to a sound, or ghost notes to a sound. I mean, you won't lose the character. That's the cool thing, is like each sound has its own character, right? And if you put them together, they're going to be mashed up and they're not going to sound right. But if you kind of like shave off frequencies, even if it makes their character, you're going to make a new character by. That's the coolest thing, is like you're taking all these different characters of sound, different sounds, you're putting them together. And when you shave off different frequencies and make them all sit in the right place, you just made a new character. And then the coolest thing about that is you take that whole thing, you sample that out, resample that, and then you layer that on top of a new sample, a new character. And you just keep building the character until it's like a movie. And it's so cool how you do that. It's really fun if you think about it that way. Like, instead of thinking, I'm going to lose the character of this sound if I add it to this one, and take out those frequencies. No, you're just making a new character, which is the coolest part. And I think that's the way I put it. Pensado is the GOAT. He's amazing. I've watched probably hundreds of hours of videos on that dude's YouTube channel. Yeah, exactly. Like, just can't get married to the original sound. Exactly, dude. Like, exactly. Like, you never know what you're gonna come up with if you just keep pushing it. I think both Alex and Jackson can both say too, like, Jackson in his music, like, it sounds like he's doing resampling. I don't know exactly, but like the coolest part about doing that kind of stuff and the dubstep and the trap and mid-tempo stuff is that you just keep pushing the character, and like getting married to the sound is gonna hurt you, because it's gonna roadblock you from coming across something like spectacular that's gonna be super cool. Cool. Yeah, riff on. Something that like came up the other day that I think like to a lot of like upcoming producers and new producers in the scene, is communication. I definitely had my problems like coming up, or I'm still coming up, but like when I try to get that first like 100 followers, or first 500 followers, or first 1,000 followers in SoundCloud, trying to get that notoriety and trying to like get that official artist support. I've had a lot of people reach out to me that have like 20 followers, 50 followers, and they ask to collab. Like the first thing, they'll like hit me up on Twitter, or like or hit me up on SoundCloud DM, and like just immediately ask, like, boom, like, hey man, we should collab on a song. Here's an idea. Okay, that might work for some people, but most times, especially because most times their music isn't that great, and it's not great because it's like okay, cool, you've been putting a lot of time in it, but put even more time. The whole thing is 10,000 hours. I was just thinking about it the other day. I've just hit 10,000 hours, like just hit it, and I've been producing for 6.5 years now. I just hit it 10,000 hours, like literally a couple weeks ago, and I think it's so important to know where you are on the journey, and that like Skrillex, he's been at it for a while too. He's the god. He's on the same path as you. He's just a little bit farther. He's on the same path I am. He's just a little bit farther. And that's the coolest part to think about, is like, it's all about the journey, not the destination. And I think when people hit me up, like, saying like, hey man, can we collab? It's like, they don't really know like that kind of, you have to develop these relationships. And these like, almost like, you want to, like, don't try to be friends with these people, but know where you stand. Like, if you know that you're a dope producer and you have a cool attitude and a cool personality, then people are gonna want to fuck with you. Like, that's just how it is. But if it's like the first thing that comes out of the gate is like, hey man, can we collab? Like, or hey man, like, we should collab. Like, it's a very interesting thing to do. and I think it hurts a lot of people, especially on it people don't forget. A lot of these industry people and producers and managers and our agents, all everybody that makes this industry what it is, it's all based off the first impression. Like when I was building my project early on, I definitely made some bad first impressions, but I learned from them immediately because I go, okay, well, that's something not I should not say. That's something I should have not done that quickly. You know, that sort of thing. It's like now it's easier now that I have like, I guess like notoriety or like that things are finally starting to move a little bit. But yeah, that's my biggest thing, man. Like it's like it's always the problem with it always too is like when somebody sends me a song they want to collab, right? It's like, and then I go out and check out their profile and I'm like, wow, this music is insane. Like I love this artist, but I don't like them. Like there's just not the right vibe. Like and I work all off of vibes, and the hardest part is like when for me, because I love listening to music and like finding new music, and when somebody is has like a weird attitude with it, I think that always kind of puts me first, because that's the way I look at other people too, and I think people look at me too, is like, how is his first impression, like how does he hold himself, like where does he hold himself, like does he want to learn or does he know everything, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. How long do you spend on developing ideas in your writing? To be honest, man, it's all crazy. Like, most times I can get like a whole song done in a day. In a day consists of like 8 to 9 hours of work straight. But those are like the crazier days. Like this past 2 weeks I've worked on like 9 songs. And I usually get them done in a day, like fully done in a day. Yeah, always stay humble. I think it's really important. What's some basic advice on processing for the original mix on a remix? Know what, like, again, it's just you're layering at that point, because you're layering the original sound on top of your sound. So it's like for like, say for a remix, right? We want to make sure that when, like, say for a breakdown, the breakdown in the original song has strings, a bass line, and vocals. You want to make sure that in your version, if you want to have strings and bring the strings out more, that you're going to have to pull those down in the old one, in the original mix, and as well as bass. So usually for me, I always like cut at like 320 hertz. I usually cut to like deep, like pass it a little bit by like 3 dB down, and then I cut it like 120 hertz, so I can add those frequencies back in. Like I'll add the same ones back in, but I'll add them in my own way, and they'll come out more, and then the vocal will be able to sit on itself more, which is very important. That's the kind of way I explain it. It's just all layering in the end of the day, and kind of figuring out your way of layering. Everybody has their different way of layering. I've had sessions where people layer and they don't even mix. They don't even EQ anything. They just layer them. They just like, and then they just like, and they stem mix and master, and then they just fix it in the post. I like fixing it in the while I'm working, so I make sure that, and then in post I can make it sound even better. I'm not fixing things. I'm like making it sound just better in general. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this was a lot of fun. I always love doing these because I wish that I had these opportunities when I was early on. I went to a school out here in LA, Icon Collective, for music production. It was really cool. I'm super stoked that I got to go there. But I never really had these like in-person, like full, like open up the DAW and talk about it stuff. So I think this is a really cool thing that they're doing. I really appreciate Alex and Jackson for thinking of me to do this. Yeah, I mean, if nobody else has any questions, then we got like 2 minutes left. So we have 2 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions at all, make sure to tell them right now. If you have if you're sitting behind your screen and you're like I don't know if I should ask them, you should ask. Like, ask right now. Like, just do it. Like, that's the best part about the music industry. Just do it in general. Just do life. Like, go out there and chase something that you love and do it. Like, at any cost. At any cost. Appreciate it, Jackson. Appreciate it, Ben. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course, Ray. Nathan, thank you so much. It was good talking with you guys. Yeah, well, I think, and the video will be, I'm pretty sure it's saved, so you can go back and check out the stuff in the beginning that you missed. I went over my summer remix. Thanks for the info. Yeah, thank you, Steven. Thanks for being here. Isaiah, I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Of course. I'm so happy I could do this. Yeah, it should be in the vault, Jack. I'm pretty sure. That's something to ask Alex or Jackson. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Nathan, no, but really thanks for the good energy and excellent workshop. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. From the bottom of my heart. I love doing this stuff. And I hope to be doing more with this crew. These guys are really good guys. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Miss this. Definitely a lot of gems throughout the whole thing. Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, it'll be on both the Facebook group and the website. Good there. Yeah, man, just do it. Like, that's it, guys. Like, in the very end of the day, there's a lot of people, I think, that get to their old age and they just wish that they would have done something or like push their fear or whatever and just done it. I think that's a very important thing. With Atlast, my whole mission statement with Atlast is to kind of get past your fears, move past your anxieties, and go and find something that you love and do it. Just do it. Like, and I think that's like so important. The whole rattle your core thing. I don't know if any of you guys follow me. I always tweet #RattleYourCore, and all my posts #RattleYourCore, #RattleYourCore. The whole rattle your core thing is very important to me. Just rattle your core beliefs, rattle your values. Like, try new things, face your fears. It's so important to do that. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. Is like I think it's so important to go out and chase something that you're scared of. Like, it's so important. If you're not scared, then you're not doing what you love, or you're not doing what you should be doing. Like, if you're not scared doing it, like, I'm scared every day doing this. Like, am I going to be fine tomorrow? I don't worry about it, though. I don't worry about tomorrow. I worry about the present moment, like today, and like what it means. I have this poster on my wall that says, "Yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift." So important. Like, it really is. Like, just be in the moment, be who you are, face your fears, rattle your core. Whenever you guys post, tweet, do any of that, just use the hashtag. I'm trying to get the hashtag going. So yeah, use the hashtag rattle your core. That's it. We're getting it going. I appreciate all you guys being here with me on this dope night. Alex, Jordan, or Jackson, thank you so much for letting me do this. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much.